I love the sound of coins falling. Do you hear all those coins? I love the sound of coins falling. Do you hear all those coins?
That's what you get for swallowing another man's load. A lubricant condom. How could you find love in a man's hairy ass? Take the Hershey Highway.
Before we get into these clips, I would like to say thanks for watching the video and also apologies for not uploading in so long. I recently got a new job and it's kind of hard to adjust to it. I come home really tired and don't feel like doing anything. But I will try to get back to uploading more frequently here soon. I do have a couple of videos I have been working on, but just haven't really got around to finishing them yet. Including another Caleb Kane video, of course, that will be coming out soon. I've been working on a video in response to his 2 videos he did about Nick Fuentes. Obviously it's a little late, but I still want to put out the video. And I'll probably have it out in a couple of weeks. So here's the clips.
Hey, what's going on? So, Ashley Goldenberg, your big thing, you're really big into the anti-SJW stuff, obviously. And I was wondering if you were familiar with the Weimar era of Marxist intellectuals, especially like with the Frankfurt School.
Yes, I know about cultural Marxism, and that was actually sort of a thing on my blog, is that I think that I had a tagline that was, I fight communism, both political and cultural, or something like that. So I am familiar with the Frankfurt School.
So are you also familiar with the fact that it seems to be sort of a Jewish thing? And by a Jewish thing, I mean like almost all of the members are almost exclusively completely Jewish.
I mean, there are a few things going on there. I think a lot of people are like, to be Jewish, all you really have to be is born to a Jewish mother, and you're always considered Jewish for the rest of your life, even if you convert to another religion. So a lot of people are Jewish by way of the fact that they're actually like secular atheists. There's like Reform and Reconstructionist Judaism, which are like very liberal, left-wing kind of Judaism for people who want to celebrate like the main holidays, but they're not actually Jewish. And then there's like actual atheists who still call themselves Jewish because they're born Jewish and that's their ethnicity and that's how they identify themselves. But it's also the fact that like when you look through political movements, a lot of them are Jewish. I'm not going to deny that. I think it's always like intellectual political movements are going to have Jews, even if they're bad movements.
Well, I noticed too, and Ian Michael Jones has talked a lot about this. You know how with the Jewish religion, it's taken sort of stages, like where you had the Torah, and then you had Talmud, and then it sort of morphed into more like sort of mystical, more mysterious things with the Kabbalah and all of that, and then it sort of turns into these more revolutionary ideas. And he was talking about a thing like with the Tikkun Olam sort of philosophy, and you see it seems like to be more of like a social philosophy that's sort of within the religion of Judaism, and you see a lot of even like in the culture of even atheistic Jewish communities or, you know, Reformed Jews also, which are like, they act religious, but they're really not. And I was wondering, like, what your thoughts about that? Do you think there's like a thing that's sort of in the Jewish community itself, like culturally, to sort of push these sort of like anti-Christian, revolutionary sort of social justice type stuff?
Okay.
Like, obviously not like all, like every single Jew, but
we got you.
I mean,
Not all Jews.
I just want to know, like, when's your, I just want to know when you're done with the question because I don't want to speak over you.
Okay. I think he's done. Thank you for calling in. Now go ahead.
Okay. I think, so yeah, so Tikkun Olam does mean to repair the world. So that is definitely a focus of the more like secular and also definitely the Reform and Reconstructionist Judaism. But the more religious you actually get, like, it's very much not really about that at all. I mean, Orthodox Jews, I saw a poll, it was like close to 90% of Orthodox Jews polled in the tri-state New Jersey, New York area said they were voting for Trump. So it's not, there's definitely a relationship between like the more religious you are, the more like actually genuinely conservative you are as a person on all issues. I mean, the religious services that I went to, like the Chabad, I used to go to Chabad services. And like they would quote Ayn Rand during their stuff. I mean, it wasn't like, oh no, we have to go out here and like tell everyone to go and, I don't know what people were mad about, like go and have like gay marriage advertisements and stuff like that. It never really was like, that's not what they talk about. But if you're going to like the Reform, Reconstructionist, and secular atheist Jews, yeah, they're going to say that's the emphasis of the religion. So it depends on if someone's like very religiously Jewish or they're just using their Judaism as a cover for their political views.
So the Reformed Jews, basically, they say that just to not say atheist Jew. Isn't that why they say that, really? Like, I mean...
Reform Judaism is like a separate split of the other Judaism. I forget like when it came about, but like it's basically the people who celebrate the most important days, which are Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, and then they might do Passover. Well, they'll do Passover, but they might do like, oh yeah, here's also Hanukkah because that's the popular holiday near Christmas. But as far as like going to services, they probably don't really go to services. They're more likely to marry a spouse who's not Jewish and stuff like that. So it's not really something to take necessarily seriously.
All right.
It's a cultural thing too.
Godzilla37 in the Lino chat, basically disbelieving your, he said, that won't work, Ash. 1% and they're 90% of Marxists. And then he says, don't trust it.
Now, she made a few interesting points there. The point that she made was basically that, well, more religious Jews are more conservative because they voted for Trump. So therefore, as you become more religious, you become more conservative, which I would say that it has more to do with the fact that he's the most hardcore Zionist president we probably ever had. So much to do with the fact that he is a quote-unquote conservative. Because I guarantee you, they will not pick his conservative values and bite their tongue if he was in any way vocally anti-Zionist or critical of Israel in any way. Also, I would like to mention how she uses the fact that in her Chabad synagogue, they quote Ayn Rand as an example of why she's actually a conservative. But even with that sort of tier of libertarianism, you have the leftist origins that have links to Marxism, along with other anarchist ideologies that sort of rose up alongside with the rise of communism and Marxism as left-wing ideologies. If you've ever seen the interview that Ernst Zondel did with his not-quite-then-yet wife, Ingrid Rimland, when she gives her testimony about what it was like living in Eastern Europe during the time of those days, you will know that the anarchists were a bunch of leftist, marauding maniacs who just ran around and raping and killing, and really weren't in any way much different than the Bolsheviks during that time.
Person in our Discord. Dormer the Stormer, I usually don't give a follow-up question, but last question, one sentence.
Well, I want to get real theological with you real quick. You know the story in the Bible.
Go ahead. Yeah.
You know the story in the Bible where Jesus touches the tree and it withers.
I actually don't.
And
I've never read the Bible.
She doesn't know the story. She's Jewish.
I'll preface it real quick. The teacher touches the tree and it withers, and he said, "This tree will bear no fruit." Okay. And what that was symbolism for the Jewish religion, the Jews that rejected Christ, and like what we know today as modern Judaism. So, anyways, so are you in your Kabbalah like synagogue? Do they like practice any like the Kabbalism stuff?
Wait, are you trying to say Kabbalah?
Yeah.
No, not really. No, I don't remember that. No.
Are you familiar with the Shekinah?
No.
Well, the Shekinah, and there's a very interesting article you can find. It's called "Davening at Victoria's Secret," and it explains how it's written by a rabbi, and explains how the Shekinah, it's like the female form of God. They believe that God has like the form of a man and also comes in the form of a female, and the female is the Shekinah. And when they're davening at the Wailing Wall and they're humping back and forth, they're spiritually copulating with the Shekinah to give birth to some sort of spiritual thing. Have you ever heard of that?
Not something
I have never heard
I have never heard about that.
Heard of that. I mean,
if you look up,
caller,
look up
look, I'm gonna have to look. I don't want to hear any more about
I
that.
think we all misunderstood it. He said it was Kabbalism. Cable is a 1990s X-Men character, and I believe he was referring to the religion. Based on Cable.
Sure.
Oh, that would make a lot more sense, Bibble. I don't know. I apologize. I still don't know what the fuck that was about.
Okay.
By the way, I like that caller. He's a patron, but And also, he started asking you about really deep question on Jesus. I was like, she's Jewish. What the fuck? She's not an expert on Jesus Christ. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I mean, I've never read the Bible, so that's my extent of my knowledge of Christianity.
Ashley Ray Goldenberg put up with everything tonight.
Okay, so here's the article, Davening at Victoria's Secret by Rabbi Michael Leo Samuel. And I'm just going to read through the first couple of paragraphs or so real quick. California Hasidic literature teaches that one of the reasons given for a Hasidim swaying in prayer is based upon the analogy of the movement that occurs in the act of lovemaking. Prayer is like making love to the Shekinah. The Baal Shem Tov is purported to have taught. Prayer is coupling with the Shekinah. Just as there is motion at the beginning of coupling, so too one must move, sway at the beginning of prayer. Thereafter, one can stand still without motion, attached to the Shekinah with great cleaving to God. As a result of your swaying, you can attain great bestirment. For you think to yourself, why do I move myself? Presumably it is because the Shekinah surely stands before me. This will affect you in a state of great enthusiasm, rapture. This morning I saw a picture of 3 Hasidic Jews praying in front of a Victoria's Secret lingerie store. That made me think about this teaching. Yes, these men certainly seemed devout and seriously engaged in prayer. I would imagine that these Hasidim probably felt they needed some visual aid to have this type of experience and close encounter as described by the Baal Shem Tov. This type of erotic mystical teaching has very strong Sabbatean quality. The false messiah, Shabbatai, was famous for his free love and ritual fornication, incestuous sexual relations, and ritual orgies that he and his followers had during the Purim holidays. Now, the reason why I brought up the story of Jesus Christ withering the tree as a sort of metaphor or representation of modern Judaism after it has rejected Christ. And then I went on to explain the sort of weird teachings of the Kabbalah. What I was trying to explain is that Judaism in its root, as a dead tree that does not bear any true fruit, is inevitably decadent. Even in Kabbalah, I asked her, she said she went to a Chabad synagogue, and she said there that they didn't teach anything about Kabbalah. But when you Google search Kabbalah, you'll find out very quick that you'll find out very quickly that the Kabbalah is very friendly with Jewish mysticism. And this includes these really decadent and demonic teachings that you just heard about the Shekinah. There's a video that was done by Brother Nathanael, who is a former Jew who converted to Christianity, who had an amazing YouTube channel, but it got deleted. He has a Bitchute now, but he did a video about this called Satan at the Wailing Wall. And I'm not going to show it on the YouTube version, but I'm going to extend it onto the video for when I upload this to Bitchute. I'd also like to mention a funny little story of a sort of semi-interaction that I had back in the day with Communism Kills. And this was back in the day when she was much bigger on Facebook, and she also had a Tumblr too. And she wasn't really like just mainly a Twitter thing. And this was maybe around 2014, 2015, somewhere around that time. It was before my Facebook page ever got big. I used to have a Facebook page that had about 13K likes, but it got deleted a couple of years ago. But anyways, I was trying to find a good base to publish, like to post revisionist material, because I'd started really getting into revisionist stuff, and it was really interesting to me, and still is. And I tried Tumblr for whatever reason, and I got bored of that really quick because the layout of Tumblr is just terrible. But anyways, like, I would spam hashtags to try to get as much reach as possible. And one of the hashtags that I would put was hashtag communismkills. Now, even though I didn't like directly tag her in it, for some reason it would give her a notification that I was tagging her in it. And she would get like really pissed off and be posting about, tell this guy to stop fucking posting about me and saying to be this Nazi bullshit. And she was all over Facebook doing all that. It was pretty funny. And after that, I started actually directly adding her in my posts. But anyways, it's just a quick, funny little story. Thanks for watching. And also subscribe to my Vaporwave account, Sarahwave. And also, I will be clipping the Brother Nathanael video onto the end of the Bitchute version, because I don't want to give YouTube any excuse whatsoever to flag my videos or put it in restricted mode or take my channel down. Thank you very much for watching.